Board the plane, it's on time. Sun is shining, it's bright. Breezy skies, cool and calm. Take a trip, it's not long. Oh, the vibe so mellow. Airwaves sing like cello. Sandy beaches we climb. Coastal Airways, oh my. Take me high, smooth as sea. Coastal breeze, fly with me. Take me high, the island's near. Feel the love in the air. Arms are swaying, blue sky. Wonders found while we fly. Oceans calling my name. Life is more than a game. Soaring high, wings of steel. Under stars it's surreal. Dreams are real in the sky. Coastal Airways fly by. Reggae beats in my ears. Miles away, no more fears. Lay back, count all the stars. Flying free, no more bars. Take me high, smooth as sea. Coastal breeze, fly with me. Take me high, the island's near. Feel the love in the air. Take me high, smooth as sea. Coastal breeze, fly with me. Take me high, the island's near. Feel the love in the air. Palms are swaying, blue sky. Wonders found while we fly. Oceans calling my name. Life is more than a game. Arms are swaying, blue sky. Wonders found while we fly. Oceans calling my name. Life is more than a game. Board the plane, it's on time. Sun is shining, it's bright. Breezy skies, cool and calm. Take a trip, it's not long. Oh, the vibe so mellow. Airwaves sing like cello. Sandy beaches we climb. Coastal Airways, oh my. Take me high, smooth as sea. Coastal breeze, fly with me. Take me high, the island's near. Feel the love in the air. Board the plane, it's on time. Sun is shining, it's bright. Breezy skies, cool and calm. Take a trip, it's not long. Oh, the vibe so mellow. Airwaves sing like cello. Sandy beaches we climb. Coastal Airways, oh my. Take me high, smooth as sea. Coastal breeze, fly with me. Take me high, the island's near. Feel the love in the air. Arms are swaying, blue sky. board the plane, it's summertime. Sun is shining, it's bright. Breezy skies, cool and calm. Take a trip, it's not long. Oh, the vibe so mellow. Airwaves sing like cello. Sandy beaches we fly. Coastal Airways, oh my. Take me high, smooth as sea. Coastal breeze, fly with me. Take me high, the island's near. Feel the love in the air. Palms are swaying, blue sky. Wonders found while we fly. Oceans calling my name. Life is more than a game. Soaring high, wings of steel. Under stars, it's surreal. Dreams are real in the sky. Coastal Airways fly by. Reggae beats in my ears. Miles away, no more fears. Lay back, count all the stars. Flying free, no more bars. Take me high, smooth as sea. Coastal breeze, fly with me. Take me high, the island's near. Feel the love in the air. Take me high, smooth as sea. Coastal breeze, fly with me. Take me high, the island's near. Feel the love in the air. Palms are swaying, blue sky. Wonders found while we fly. Oceans calling my name.
All right, that's it. We're back. Welcome to the FSBN channel. Sorry, folks, I'm just trying to get this thing started here. Something's going on with my FSU IPC. It's not like sensing. I have to restart FSU IPC all the time. We are here in Tampa. We had an actual thunderstorm over the top of Salt Lake City, and it dumped hail, 50-mile-an-hour winds. So I had to get out of there really quick. So sorry about the delay. And we had a delay coming in Tampa. If you haven't watched the last video from Miami, we did all sorts of stuff. We did a hold. I had to do a hold, the whole 9 yards. Just tried to get this, let's get this airplane back going here. Let's go ahead and get everything going. We don't need lavs because we already did it. Nobody got up, so nobody used the bathroom on that last flight just because it was so bumpy. All right, so that doesn't work on that side. Excuse me. I am definitely running a low grade. We're doing all right. 99. You saw the temperature, so I'm monitoring that and my oxygen levels. You can see this kind of a weird route we have. Just because there's weather right here and it's coming down, folks. So we've kind of got a window and it's closing on us. So I kind of want to get out of here. Let me say hi to everybody. Dewan, how are you? Sean, what's going on? Checking in. Jaja says full day of flying, Jason. Yes, let's go. Yeah, I agree. Does Coastal do D-rated takeoffs? We do assumed temperatures. We don't do a D-rate. So that would be a double D rate. We don't do that. We just do an assumed temp. So full power with assumed temperature on top of that. Another question. What strategies did the plane climb less aggressively in VNAV after? What strategies to have the plane climb less aggressively in VNAV after takeoff? Okay. Such a lovely song. Aloha. Hey, where are you, Samantha Fox? How's it going? Higher flap settings, cutbacks, derates, and such help. Yes, that is true. I only fly the iFly Max 8 and the PMDG 7, and even if I'm full, it's like I climb like a rocket. Yeah, these would be the best two. Usually go for derated takeoff, cutbacks. Yep, you could do both. NDAP helps as well. I agree. Pops, how are you? Sean, just making sure. Max, nothing like flying a Great American-made airplane. Great American-made airplane on a big American day. That's right. I'll have to check part one. Jeffrey, can you discuss HUD modes? Yeah, two things I want to discuss in cruise: HUD modes and a little bit about this country's history. That's what I'd like to discuss today. All right, let's go get this done. We've got not a lot of time, so let's go ahead and figure out what we need to do. We're going to go, again, catering is done. We don't need that. The airplane was serviced. Nothing happened. No service happened, yes, last flight. No lavs need to be dumped. So that is the good news. Let's go ahead and call the flight. They're calling us, flight attendants. Hello.
Captain, I haven't been able to speak to anyone in security yet, but I'll let you know as soon as we're ready to bring the passengers on board.
All right, thank you.
No problem.
I just let her know whenever she's ready. We already did, you remember, we already did the quick align, so we're done with that. By the way, if you're just joining us, I have COVID, so I'm isolated in this office on 4th of July. So it really sucks, but we're going to make the best of a bad situation. And let's get this done. All right, folks, I'm going to click this. I'm going to show you, I'm featuring the Wing CDU. This is beautiful and worth its weight in gold. I would definitely recommend this. Let's click return. I want to get out of this menu, so I'm just going to go here. There we go. I am going to do a request. Where am I in my deal? We're going to go, there we are. Let's go Miami. No, we're not. We're in Tampa. You guys, I need you to help me. It's got to be one of those. Okay, we're in Tampa. We're in gate 88. I don't know if it's going to take it. No, what about F88? Foxtrot 88 gate. Yes, it took it. So that goes in the scratch pad. Oh, we already did it. Stupid. I'm so used to doing it. Idiot. All right, route. Clear. Because I'm going to do a flight plan poll, sim brief. We're just going to select the route, and then I'm going to click request. Now, Atlanta, Houston, Jax is on. Tampa is controlled by Miami, so we're uncontrolled. So what we're going to do is check out our auto ATC. Blah, 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 blah. Departure of Tampa, squawk 6046. That's really all I care about. 6046. Oh, boy. Okay, 6046 set. That's right there. It's good to go. By the way, Coastal Airways, if you folks don't know, it's a fictional airline, but it's based off of a real airline. When it was an actually good airline. It's actually a mix of the 3 different airlines, but very much like one of them. In the 90s, maybe. No, it's really not. It has its mind of its own. All right, let's go over here. What we're going to do next is, we already did that. Let's go and do our weather. Again, Tampa. It's coming. Where's my pen? All right. What do you have in store for us, Tampa? 330 at 6. Airport, Tampa. 330 at 06. Visibility 10 with clear skies. Are you serious? Not coming. There's a big thunderstorm on its way down. That was 21 minutes ago. 26 over 24. Altimeter 2, 9er 6. I'm going to cool this office down, maybe. If I can find my little ARC controller. I don't know where it is. I have so much crap. Here it is. I got my temperature thingy in here. Okay, let's see. Hang on. Turn on. Why isn't it turning on? Hang on. If I don't have the AC running, we're going to have a problem. All right, that's good. It's on. All right. What the heck was I doing? Oh, I was down here. Okay. Getting the weather. Runway right now, they are departing. One left, one right. We'll take one left. Gate 88. All right, arrival FOB. I'm going to call the fuel. We'll get that done. 44 over 4460. I'm so glad we had that much fuel because it was definitely an issue coming in here with that weather. What's that, 88.60 or so? Good. All right, let's call for the fuel truck. That we do need to do. Request the fuel truck. We're going to put in 23.2. And I'm going to say, they're going to be nice to us and say 23.4. Gives us another 200 pounds to play with. All right. Time is 17:14. Hi, Max. All right. We are the reason why altitude is measured in feet worldwide. Mm-hmm. True that. But actually, I think in the 90s, it was very close to being French. Believe it or not. Because there's a lot of, if you think about it, there's a lot of French language in aviation, which is really interesting. All right. We're going to go runway departures. I'm not going to fly a departure, and I'll tell you why. Is we're doing a kind of a weird route. This is a weather avoidance route we're doing, so we're not going to have any, quote, departures. Now, we might have to throw an audible and take off and go the opposite direction. I've got this banana hook coming out. We're going to go west, east of the state, cut through the thunderstorms in the saddle, and then on the way up. That's what we're going to try to do. I don't know. So right after departure, roll the airplane, watch for the fireworks because it's coming. All right, let's start pumping in the gas. Okay, so that's done. We're going to go to right. Okay, I'm just going to do one left on the departure. Execute. All right, so I'm going to go legs page. You can see it's S boat, which is right pretty much over Orlando, Lakeland, Florida, and then we're going to go JCI, and I used the new feature from SimBrief that we could plan our own route. That's kind of what I did on the departure out of here. And we're going to, let's go right to Drebel. And you see, I'll skip Ormond, and we're going to go to Drebel. Execute that, and then Islip. By the way, the weather up in Islip, absolutely beautiful. Once we get out of this garbage, everything else is smooth sailing. Couple thunderstorms along our way, but we'll kind of get around those. We got Salin direct to Islip. I'm super excited to go to Islip, guys. Last week I flew into Providence for FS Expo, and the only thing I was wishing for is to see Long Island. I picked the seat, I picked the window because I know the route. guess what? It was blanketed in stratus. I couldn't see anything. David, how are you? Hi there, everybody. Could you do a Lufthansa A330 St. Louis to Frankfurt? Oh my gosh. That's a long haul, my friend. I mean, I guess if you guys want to do a long haul, we could do like a Delta A350 or so. I don't know. That would be cool. The long hauls, they're great, but they're really long. Yeah, I don't know about those long hauls. All right, zero fuel weight. I've got 133. I got to write it all down here. 133 point. Where are we? ZFW 133.4. Takeoff weight is going to be 156.1. We're going to go flaps 5 today. I'll check all that out here in just a little bit. And our estimated landing weight, 142.4. 142.4. I'm going to give you a good briefing today. How's that? A nice briefing. Not like last time where I was on the push and I was giving a briefing. Oh my gosh. There's smoke everywhere. F-U, smoke. That's French. Okay, so the METAR has a lot of French in it. The little abbreviation F-U, and I'm not being derogatory or mean, that is the French word. I think it's fumar or something like that. You guys help me out for the French, but that means smoke. And there's obviously fireworks going on. So there's fireworks up in Islip because there's smoke. Same with Las Vegas and all that good stuff. Let's see here. 2106, 10 miles. Yeah, okay. And we have... Good. One last thing I got to do. Oh, man, I'll tell you what. This being sick business is not fun. I will look like an absolute... I'll do anything I could possibly do not to get sick. I don't care if I got a mask up, wear a Darth Vader mask. I don't care. I ain't doing this again. This is for the birds, man. Allow paste. You know, to be honest, I've been pretty lucky. I've managed to avoid this thing for 5 years. I've never had COVID. So that's pretty good. I'll take it. Go. Save it. Nope. Done. Cancel. Cancel. Done. All right, let's see what we got here. Got some turbulence. Yeah. Okay. Get your comments really quick. Did anything changed? Which word? Sean said that would be cool to see a Delta 350. Detroit has some routes. Yeah. Oh, man. Diamond Mike Boston, what's going on, buddy? By the way, I met him over at the FX Expo. Thanks for saying hi. I think we met over at the booth at the 7.5. I can't remember it for the 7.5 booth. But it was fun meeting you. It really was. I enjoyed it. All right. Islip is... I'm just going to leave the runway as it is. There is no arrival, so let's take a look at our legs page. S-boat. All right. You guys look at the FMC. I'm going to look at my charts. And we'll go from there. How's that? Okay. We've got S-boat, Juicy, whatever that is. I'm calling it Juicy because I don't feel like using my brain cells. Drebel, Neil, Primus, whatever. Wapner. Basically take us out over the ocean. Jevd, Kakiet, Elms. What is that? Urich all the way across to Islip, all the way up. This is such a fun route. I love this route. Jet 121 to CCC. There we go. Solon. That's the end of that. Click route data. Now I'm going to hold off on that because I'm going to go init ref. Zero fuel weight coming in at 133.4. And I'm going to start the boarding process. Let's go get them done here. Request boarding. Get on the airplane. Let's go. All right, so zero fuel weight coming in at 133.4. Put that in there. We're going to do plan out here 23,000.0. Cost index is 40. We're going to try to get going. You know what? I think we're going to have an on-time departure. They built a lot of in our schedule coming out, so that's really good. No, that's not right on the reserves. 4.8 on the reserve. Cost index is 40. Let's get that door open. Wait a minute. Oh, I'm closing it. Nope. Bang. Cut. I'll tell you why, because I didn't schedule this stupid thing right. I'll restart it. Self-loading cargo. I gotta restart. It's not the coastal one. I forgot to throw it in there in haste. And we want to hear some coastal stuff, don't we? I don't want to hear the default business. There we go. By the way, we're looking for pilots. If any of you want to fly, come on over. I'd love to have you. Which runway is it going to be today? Good question. It's going to be one left out of here. That's what we're expecting. I think we got our ATC stuff hammered out. 055, that is correct. I'm going to go now to flight crew audio. This is what I didn't do. Coastal Airways, return to summary, start the flight. Good. We're boarding. Want to let you know we're boarding. All right, fuel. We're good on the gas. 23.4. Click release. Let's see that boarding is happening. It's occurring. I kind of want to get out of here sooner than later. Oh, man. All right, let's write our fuel in there. We got 8380 over 8380 and center tank 6640. Let's do some math. That's 6, 8, that's 12, 14, 16, that's...
Good afternoon.
22, 23. Yeah, all right, we're good. Start this here. Skip.
Welcome on board.
All right, what are you doing? Intercom, hello.
Hi. Okay, I've spoken to security, and I'm told they'll be ready to send the passengers down to us in a few minutes.
We're boarding now.
No problem.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm hoping that I didn't start it late. Because that would suck. Let's see what happens. All right, it says passengers are heading to their seat. All right. I'll have to make sure they're boarding. All right, guys. Here we go. Yeah, 23.4. All right, good. All right, go ahead.
I can't just a quick update to let you know that we started building. We specified those should up to
All right. Go ahead.
Hi, Captain. Just to let you know we've started bringing the passengers on board.
Thanks. All right. All right, that's done. We're gonna go 350. Cruise wind is 215 at 24. Outside air temperature, minus 44. All right, now let's plug it in. Let's look at the FICON, if there's any FICONs. Oh, you stupid idiot. Don't worry about me, folks. Ugh. I am not firing at all cylinders. I'm just not. All right, CVCLC, CP DLC is unusable. Great. One left and one night close effective 8th. Cranes, obstacles. Okay, we got 5CON in use, 55555, which means it's 100% wet. And when we do that, we're going to go full power today because it's wet. And so if it's wet like this, we're going to go full power. So I'm going to look at my VTP, Virtual Performance Tool, and we're going to plug it in. Tampa, runway 1 left. Conditions medium, conditions good actually. I'm going to force. We're going to go full takeoff thrust. I'm going to keep the ATMs good. Flaps will force 5. Air conditioning. Auto. Anti-ice is off. And no improved climb. Bump. 156.1. Stand by there, buddy. 20. Calculate. All right, let's call them. Go ahead. Thank you. All right, we got it here. I'm looking at all engines go. We're looking at 5,800 feet for the runway. Engine out go, 6,700 feet. Accelerate stop, 6,700 with a 4,000 foot margin. Let's see what we got here on the graphic. We're looking at a trim at 6. The cell temp coming in, there is none, so it's not applicable today. 1 left. I got 33, 44, 52. Very much different than what we have here. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to use 133. I'm using my numbers from VTP. 144 is the same, and 152. Pretty much. Good. Then we're going to go route, legs, route data, request the winds. Did I do that? No. Okay, are we happy with those numbers? I'm going to give you a briefing. There really is nothing to brief because we're going to be basically on the push. And that's it. We're going to click load and execute. Done. We're going to go to descent. Clear that. Forecast. Load. All right. Now, while that does that, I'm going to jump over on this side because everything else is broken on my side. All right, we're going to go ahead here. Departure. Airport. We're here. Come out here. I'm going to go Juliet. Go down Whiskey. Whiskey 1 route. Okay, that's the plan. We're done. Okay. The box is entered, and we're good with that. Let's see if they're boarding. Roger. All right, back to the passengers. Let's see what we got. This is what I'm concerned about. What in the world? See, I'm afraid that I don't see anybody.
Good afternoon.
I don't like that.
Good afternoon.
I don't see anybody in their seats, which is a problem.
Boarding time, please.
I might do an instant board. I don't know, man. Okay. Comments.
Hello.
All right, we're good. $86.91. Hydraulic 92.92. Time, we're good. Clear this. All right, you guys, let's do it. We've still got some time. I'm gonna give you a good. I'm gonna give you a good brief. Folks, welcome aboard Coastal Flight 180, nonstop service over to Islip, Long Island, New York. Happy 4th of July, everyone. We should have you on out of the gate here in about 10 minutes or so. 10 to 15 minutes once we're airborne. Once we're airborne, it looks like in 2 hours and 20 minutes. We got broken clouds over there in Islip, 73 degrees. The ride should be pretty good. Out of here, it's going to be a little bit bumpy because of convective activity, some thunderstorms coming. So we're going to try to get around those, go up to Orlando on the east side of the state, and there's some bumps around North Carolina that we're going to have to contend
Ladies
with.
and gentlemen, welcome aboard Coastal Airways.
Right now, it's back.
On
Relax.
behalf of the
Enjoy
entire
the
crew,
flight.
I'd like to extend a warm welcome to both our returning and new passengers. Before we take off, we kindly request that you stow your larger carry-on bags in the overhead compartments to ensure a clear and safe aisle for everyone. Smaller personal items can be placed under the seat in front of you. For an on-time departure, we encourage you to take your seats as quickly as possible. Please fasten your seat belts, ensuring they are low and tight across your lap, and fasten them snugly throughout the duration of the flight. As a friendly reminder, all electronic devices should now be set to airplane mode or switched off for the duration of the flight. Please also take a moment to familiarize yourself with the safety information card located in the seat pocket in front of you. If you have any questions or require assistance at any time during the flight, please don't hesitate to reach out to one of our attentive flight attendants.
Hello.
We are here to ensure your journey with Coastal Airways is safe, comfortable, and enjoyable. Once again, we thank you for choosing Coastal Airways for your travel needs. We are delighted to have you on board and look forward to providing you with a pleasant flight experience. Sit back, relax, and enjoy your flight with Coastal Airways.
All right, folks, that's it. There you had it. Nice flight attendants. 73 degrees, beautiful. Over in Islip. Yeah, that aircraft is incredible and can't wait for it to come out. Yeah, me either. It's awesome. David says the Delta A350 has the 100th anniversary livery now. I think it's pretty beautiful, those new ones. It is. You know, I would do a A350 flight. Crazy enough as it is. Out of Detroit, too. All right, checklist time, guys. Fuel pumps. Let's do flows. I mean, we'll do flows. Again, this is a quick turn, so we're on a little early, but that's okay. I want to get out early if we can. And we can only get that approval from dispatch, by the way. Window heat's coming on. But I do want approval to get because of those thunderstorms. Are we done boarding? If we're done boarding, I'm going to push. I'm going to call our dispatcher and say, hey, Mick, get me out of here. Can we get approval to get out of here? Because if we don't, we're going to be stuck for a while. 350? 350. I think Long Island's sitting at 100 feet. Where is it? 99. I was pretty close. All right, that's on auto. We're on the left side now. Everything on the overhead's good to go. All right, speed. I didn't do it, did I? All right, 133, 144, 153. We write everything down. We have a whole like fuel ticket and everything on there that we use. There's a whole logbook. It's pretty wild, but it's good that way. Okay, intercom. Hello.
Hi, Captain. Okay, here's the load sheet from ground. I've written the passenger count here, the crew count here, and the total number of souls, not including yourself, here.
All right, let's close that door. Thanks a lot. We're gonna get going
Looks like we're all set to go whenever you're ready.
right now. All right, we got approval from our dispatch office that said, yeah, get out of here now. We're going to climb up to 5,000, folks. It's going to be a 400 feet immediate turn left. Right. Immediate right turn out of there. 153. Set. Flight director's on. Master's on my side. You've got yours on as well. We're going to come down over here. Auto brakes on. Auto brakes on there. It's coming over here. Let's check our oxygen flow. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Time it. All right, APU coming on. That's good to go. 0, 0. APU on. All right, center tank's coming up. I forgot. Center tank fuel pumps are on. We're going to draw out of that center first. All right. Checklist time. Flows are done. Now you run the checks. Fuel pumps, all of them are on. Center tanks are on. And we've got 23.4 on the gas. Passenger signs, they're on. Now we're going to click return. Doors are coming closed. Ground services will wait. I'm actually going to pull the air conditioning cart off the aircraft right now. We'll hold on the other stuff. Okay, window heat is on. Hydraulic pumps are on. Doors are closed. Pressurization is set in auto, and our auto brakes on RTO and stab trim is set. Before it start, checklist is complete. Mike says, Curtis, how are you, buddy? Hey, Jason, I got a question for you. When's the right time to put the flaps out when landing? Ooh, it's based off mileage from the airport. Okay, I'll show you. That's a great question, Mike. I'm going to show you what I do. It's a trick that we teach our coastal pilots. It pretty much works almost all the time, not always, it just depends, but I'm going to show you how to do it, okay? Okay, close the doors.
Okay, I let the crew know and we'll get closed up as soon as we can.
Yeah, let's go. All right, coming on. 1, 2, and timer on. Now we got to wait 90 seconds. Let's go and remove the gate, and let's get out of here, folks. I got this thunderstorm approaching, and I want to bounce. Okay, coming down over here, we're going to go ahead and release the chocks. Yes, remove the chocks. Chocks removed, and on. Go ahead. All right. They're
Hello,
just letting
Captain.
me know to.
We are ready for pushback.
All right, Tampa reporting. What was my frequency at Tampa? Tower 119.5.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
By the way, folks, do me a quick favor. If you are listening and watching and all this good stuff, there's a little button on the bottom with like, it looks like this. Thumbs up. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Give it a like.
Locking gear.
Appreciate it. It helps. And if you're new, welcome aboard. We'd love for you to subscribe as well. And then make sure you hit the notification button. This way we come on. Who knows? I might be doing this for 5 days straight. I have no idea. I got a quarantine for 5 days, so I'm not really going anywhere. All right, I'm going to go ahead and say nose to the left, tail to the right.
Release parking brake.
Looks good up on top here. Okay, that's good. Done. And is it getting hot? It's hot. 80 degrees in the cabin. You guys are going, holy cow. All right, let's go. We're going to start the push right now. All right, you ready? 1743. And APU bleed is on. You got the doors armed. Good. Reset. Going for run.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard Coastal Airways, where your safety is
Commencing push. All
Right,
engines
released.
clear. Start at will.
important safety features of this Boeing 737.
Let's see if you can hear her.
All carry-on items are stowed in the overhead bins or under the seat in front of you. All aisles, exits, and
All right, we're going to start number 2.
remain clear.
2 to ground.
Fasten your seatbelt. Insert the flat metal end into the buckle. Tighten by
And our time was out at 1744.
lift the top of the buckle. We recommend keeping
We're about
your
10 minutes
seatbelt
early.
fastened at all times while
And we're early, even with all that junk
the 737
that we had to deal with.
aircraft has 6 emergency exits. 2 forward
2144.
doors,
Fuel in.
2 overwing exits.
2144.
737-800 series aircraft has 8
All right, sorry.
2 forward doors,
All right, there's a light.
doors, and 4
Oil pressure.
exits. In the event of an evacuation, floor lighting will guide you to the nearest exit. Please take a moment to locate your nearest exit, which may be behind you. Should there be a change
Yeah, Mike.
oxygen masks will automatically
Um,
channel above your
there's a way we do it.
to start the flow of oxygen.
I'll talk to you about cruise. I could just set it up at cruise. Okay, we got a light off. Woo. All right, that ain't gonna work. There we go.
Oxygen will be flowing. Be sure to secure your own mask.
All right, roll back. Let's go ahead and
Your life vest is located
isolate it, ventilate it.
Pull the vest over your head. Fasten the straps around your waist and
Okay, here we go.
do not inflate
Starting
the
number
vest until
1.
you exit the aircraft. To inflate,
Tampa traffic, Riptide 180. Push from Foxtrot 88.
in the event of a water landing, life rafts are stored in the ceiling compartment and will be deployed by the crew. Please follow their instructions on how to safely exit the aircraft and board the life raft. As safety information
22, 23, 24, 25. Fuel coming in.
the operation
Set parking brake.
Brakes coming set.
At this time, please ensure that
There's
all
a light.
portable electronic devices are in airplane mode.
Whew.
Turned off for taxi, takeoff, and landing.
Oil pressure.
Devices must be stowed. Small, handheld devices may be used. We're pleased to offer complimentary Wi-Fi on today's flight. To access it, simply go to flycoastalairways.com on your device and log in as a beach phone member. If you're not a member yet, you can sign up
Unlocking gear.
board and start enjoying the Wi-Fi.
All right.
Please remember that all
Looking
devices
for
should be in airplane
starter cutout and rollback. 2 good starts.
non-smoking flight.
Can't do anything yet, so let's go ahead and do this first.
Is not permitted at any time.
And I'm going to do that.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed.
For your comfort and safety,
All right.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
individual
All right, we got to wait till we see a thumbs up. And we got the pin, and then I'll continue on with the flow. Can't do anything yet because if we did energize the electrics, there she is with the pin, and she's in the nose gear or by the nose gear, it could go like this. Salute, we're done. Here we go. Okay, 1, 2, APU off. Take a look up here. That looks good, that looks good, that looks good. All the way around. Good to go there. Pitot heat on. That's off, that's good. That's set, coming across. 1, 2, taxi light on. Flaps 5. Checklist. Generators are on. Propede is on. Anti-ice off. Flight controls free. Flaps. We got 5-5 green light. Transponder. TARA. Oh my gosh, really, dude? Alright, you guys ready? Let's get the show on the road. Wow, that's gotta come back. That's good. Okay, this is the HUD mode. This is obviously an A3 mode. I'm going to take it off. We're just going to put it in there. That's our standard mode. Listen to this. Alright, what's going on? Alright, let's come up. Go down, Juliet 2. Tampa traffic, Riptide 180, taxi, runway 1 left. Alright, here, off to New York. Here we go. I'm going to line up, turn on the weather radar. Well, once we make this turn, we're going to go straight. Okay, clear right, looks good. Our aircraft coming in. Nice, look at that. Delta kicking it up. That's what I'm talking about. Look at that thing. Treading water. Yeah, dude. Get after it. Alright, here we go. Let's bring it on up. Okay, we're number 1 for departure. I'm going to call the flight attendants and let them know. Flight attendants call. Up. Down. Looking good. That looks good. We'll drop the yoke. Packs and bleeds. Packs auto. Bleeds are on. Takeoff checklists. Takeoff flows complete. Checklist coming up. Okay, takeoff config set. Packs and bleeds. Altimeter set. Recall completed. Takeoff checklist now is complete. Yeah, they're mad. I'll tell you why. So I'm going too fast. I know I was going to get hit on that. ACARS is going to, my Foco data is not going to like it. I'm going to get a call from the safety person. So you were taxiing at 34. All right, folks. Gosh. I was going a little fast. Lead on the fast side for them. They don't like it. All right, we'll slow down. Brakes are good. Checking it out. It looks good. Nobody's coming in. I will verify. We'll hit the brakes just for a minute so I can kind of get my bearings. All right, nobody's coming in on final. Let's call them up. Tampa traffic, Riptide 180, taking runway 1 left, Tampa. All right, lights coming on.
01 left.
Okay, VRAS is good to go. I've got an aircraft up there. Strobing steady. Wing lights are on. I gotta let my dog out. Okay, I'm gonna throw weather on my side. I got an aircraft coming in for landing. All right, looks good. Auto throttle's armed.
On runway 01 left.
Okay, it's an HGS departure. Let's go. Why, really? Why is that taking? There we go.
80 knots.
I'll get it on the air.
V1.
Go.
Rotate.
Here we go.
Positive rate.
Yep. Roll it. Flaps 1. Speed check. Okay, LM on. Or engage, I should say. Flaps up. It's going to get bumpy here, folks. Just want to avoid that nasty stuff. Okay, keep on the climb here. $15,000. Got the speed. All right, let's go ahead and accelerate. Command A. VNAV up. Gear. That's good. That's coming closed. These lights are off. Taxi's off. All right, keep on the climb. All right, you can see why I wanted to bail out that way. There's some wicked thunderstorms to the north, and I'm avoiding all that precipitation. Nope. On my radar, it's really bad, so it's just a solid wall of garbage. Jack center now, 135.9 1/4. Nine two 925. I'm going to keep the flight attendants seated because I do not want them up. Yeah, keep those ground speed big. I agree. All right, we're going to keep our engine and our engine ignitions on just until we get out of this garbage. This is not a traditional departure. Trying to get through. I got to call Jacksonville. We're right on the border. All right, so we're going to change this to 280. And as a matter of fact, we're actually going to keep it at 250. It's going to be bumpy. It's
Delta
just
2505, welcome to Orlando taxi via Foxtrot. And cross runway 17 right. Foxtrot and cross 17 right.
You can see all this towering cumulus that I'm trying to avoid. Take a picture of that. So it looks pretty good now. Well, let me give them a call.
Have a great night, man.
I'll give him a call. Jacksonville Center, Riptide 180, just took out of Tampa, heading east on a weather route over to Espo.
I just barely missed me, sir. Attention all aircraft, Jacksonville Center now closed. Monitor CTAF and Apache frequencies for respective areas. Have a nice 4th. We'll see you. Have a great night.
All right. 122.8. All right, you guys. I'm going to kick this back. There's 13,000. We're waiting about 14. Not too bad. On the climb out. My weather radar does not look like this. It looks much worse. We'll take it. Once we get a little bit pretty stable here. There's 15. We're going to keep going. Keep trucking. Keep trucking. 350. So I'm going to go 350. Set. Okay, 350 set, and then we're going to take this to 280 now. There we are. And we'll get those big numbers. It's smooth. I mean, you'd get your butt rocked right now with all this cumulus in here. Really. Well, we're good. I'm just going to leave it. Let the airplane accelerate, do its thing. This is a weather route, kind of taking us up and around. You can kind of see what we did. All right, now let's go and do that. We'll accelerate more. And then I'm going to do my flows. All right, differentials coming up past 4. That's what we want to see, above 10,000. Those are off. Engine starts, we can throw those off now. Everything else looks good, folks. Climb check. Okay, packs and bleeds. Packs are auto, bleeds are on. Pressurization checked. Start switches are off. APU off. Flaps are up, no lights. Check is complete. Fuqua, yep. Steve, how are you? Yes, that was the Southwest taxi. All right, so there's 18,000. You know, Mike, I don't know if you're still with me. Mike asked the question of when do you do flaps in the 737? And we have a general rule of thumb at Coastal Airways that we follow, and it works pretty darn good most of the time. Not all the time, but most of the time. I'm actually going to get the flight attendants up. I think we're okay. Until we get, you know, maybe, until we get above this layer, I'll keep them down, actually. Kind of go big swing around here. We're going to Ormond Beach. Basically, we're flying to the east side of the state and then up. 1126. There's Ormond Beach. We're headed there. Okay, so the question that Mike asked, he says, how do you know when to set your flaps? And it's all about energy management, right? Well, here's a little trick. I'm going to show you. It's generally works very well. Sometimes it doesn't, but most of the time it does. I'd say 90% of the time it works dead on. 95%. Sometimes you have to be a little... Now, there's two rules of thought here. One that DeJuan said is if you're in actual instrument conditions. So if you're in instrument conditions and you're on an ILS, You got to do it a little earlier. But it all hinges upon the runway endpoint. Okay? So for this, iSlip is reporting calm winds, 10 miles visibility. Beautiful day there in iSlip. They are landing probably 2 4s. Well, I don't know. It's probably going to be 2 4. So I don't know. Let's just plan on runway 6. It's calm winds. Runway 6 is probably preferred. They usually would do... Give me a second. I gotta let my dog out. I know she's wanting to get out of here. Let's find out here, folks. And I got something for you as well. Okay, let's see what they're landing here. Okay, they're landing 2-4. 2-4 is a runway that we're going to plan, okay? So I'll show you what we do. So let's plan 2-4 right off of Calverton. So we're going to go, we're going to come in here, and we're going to plan this. Now I'll show you, if we go arrivals, departures, do arrivals, and I'm just going to set this runway up. We can do the RNAV 2-4, which is the ILS. We're going to, it's visual, we're going to do Calverton transition, okay? And then we're going to execute it. Now, go to your legs page and take a look. We're going to go next page, next page, next page. And I want you to scroll down, and I'm going to link this, wrap this continuity up, and execute that. Don't worry, this has nothing to do with it. I'll go next page. You see this runway 24, RW24? Put that in your scratch pad. So I'm going to dump it right down into the scratch pad here. Then I want you to go to your fixed page. Then you're going to take the runway 24 and you're going to dump it over the top. What you're doing is creating rings. And then what we're going to do is, you've probably seen me do this, /15. That's 15 nautical miles from the runway end. At that point, you need to start thinking about 210 knots, flap 5. We at Coastal do flaps 5, and then we'll slow to about 180 or so. So within that ring, that 15 nautical mile ring, not downwind, but heading into it, okay? If you're, let's say you're on a downwind and you're within that 15 nautical mile ring, you have to set it earlier. Does that make sense? So if I'll show you as we land. You don't obviously have to stay up, but you can watch it tomorrow or something. But that 15 nautical mile ring tells us that's where we have to start slowing the aircraft, getting it slow to about that 190 mark with flaps 5. Then we're going to go /5. That's 5 nautical miles. So you got 15 miles, 5 miles, 3 miles. /3. And those 15, 5, and 3, the 5 nautical miles. So when we hit that 5 nautical miles, it's gear down, flap 15. I'm talking about a perfect day. Gear down, flaps 15, and we slow. We slow down to, you know, let's say we're at 170, we start slowing down to flap 15 speed. Once we hit the 3 nautical miles, it's flaps 30 or 40 all the way down to ref. That's all. That's it. And I'm going to show you, obviously you have to take into consideration that, you know, sometimes it doesn't work that well. Just depends on the situation. Talking about a perfect, you know, straight in, that's what you would do. On a downwind, yeah, it's going to be a little tough. So for us, in our sake, it's going to be pretty much a straight in because we're going to hit Calverton and we're going to come in. I think Calverton's, I want to say maybe it's 12 miles to the approach end. Let's see here. No, I don't want 6. I want runway 24. How about 6.4 miles to Coram from Calverton? So that puts us right on that mark. So yeah. So you'll see. That's how we do it. And that's it. If you can do it like that, and you'll get better as you progress through. That's kind of how it works. Anyway, take a look at this, folks. We've got some weather. Getting through the high layer of clouds. Let's go ahead and turn on the engine anti-ice. So we're going to go ahead and throw this. Oops. That's not what I wanted. 1. Oops. 2. And then up on top, we're going to throw our engine anti-ice on. 1, 2. All right, awesome. Okay, back to your comments. Dewan said, I've been up to 43 knots flying southwest on the ground. Yeah. Not good. Alright, I needed to do modes too, right? You guys wanted to hear HGS modes. Alright, I'm going to let my dog out really quick. Get myself a drink. Oh, man. Generally speaking, it works pretty well. Yikes. Yeah, I want to punch through this cloud layer. Oh, man. That's off. I can only go, well, we can go up to 380. Well, we'll see. 350 is what we're looking at. It's going to get bumpy over. Yeah, it's going to get bumpy. Let's see. Oh, man. Yep. All right, you guys. Keep on trucking. Whew. The good news is we got out of there before the real nasty crap hit, which is nice. 1,000 to go. I might go a little higher. It's 350. If we're hitting the bumps, you know. It's going to be better higher. Let's see here. 3.5's odd. 370 maybe. It's still going to be bumpy. I just want to get out of these clouds if I can get out of them. It's this is all from those thunderstorms that we were trying to avoid. Looks like we could kind of get through them. Maybe climb another couple thousand feet. Still going to be the same bump level. Let's try it. Let's go maximum's 3.7. That's not enough room. can't do it. We're gonna have to stay at 350 or descend. It's just gonna be bumpy right now. I'm gonna call the passengers. All right. Okay. How we doing on the airplane? There we go. So our flight attendants are doing their thing. We're serving drinks and passing out stuff in the bumps. I might have to sit them down. This is kind of light crap, but it's still nasty. All right. Here you go, satisfaction here. Who's not in green? What does that mean? Is it blue? Couple of blue. Health. Boredom. You see all these things. Trunk. Oh boy. That's so funny. You can see all this. Pretty cool. Nervous flyer. A couple of nervous flyers there. Cool. I've never seen baggage hold view. That's pretty interesting. Remove the filters. All right, there we go. Pretty cool. Self-loading cargo. There's literally nothing we can do about this. Got an aircraft coming right at me, 200 feet below. Oh, he's 6,400 feet below us. No factor. I got a target 200 feet. You see these bumps? It's just enough to... Yeah, this is light. The flight attendants are be alright passing out on this one. You know, keep continuing service. I wouldn't suspend the service just yet. If it got real bad, it started boom, boom, then I would. I'll keep the seatbelt sign on though. Alright. So, I hate to tell you, but we'll see. Okay, how about 668 nautical miles till top of descent? And we're looking at islip 2337. So in about another hour and 10, 15 minutes, then we'll be descending. That's pretty good. 2337. Yeah, dude. Okay, I'm going to let my dog out. I will be back. You guys hang out. And I'm just going to let my dog outside. There's nothing to see on that side of the airplane. And there's a streaking aircraft coming up. I'm trying to reset the windows. I wonder if I'm gonna... He's plus 700 feet. Alright, I'm watching that guy in front of us. I don't see him on VATSIM. That might be an FSLT target. Still, we'll avoid him. All right, I'll be back. Ugh. Folks from the flight deck, reach a cruising altitude of 35,000 feet. Seatbelts are coming off. However, we ask if you remain seated, keep the seatbelts fastened just in case if we hit any unexpected or rough air. Thanks for watching the FSBN channel. We appreciate your time hanging out on this July 4th. I show ice slip approximately 620 miles about 751 miles to go, about 600 miles until descent. Weather and ice slip, we'll give you an update as we get a little bit closer. Thanks again for watching. Sit back, relax, enjoy the rest of the flight. All right, folks. So Jeff wanted to talk about modes, different HGS modes. So let's do that. We'll talk about HGS modes, and then we're going to talk about, I got an airplane coming right at us. He is 4,100 feet, he had no factor. 4,100 feet above us, that's pretty high. So let's talk about the different HGS modes. So HGS, or heads-up guidance system, you have different types. Your primary mode, which is this. This is primary mode. So all your instruments, basically, are displayed on the HGS, which is nice. It's a nice mode to fly. I like this mode when I take off. Standby mode right now is A3. And that's right here. And that's armed. It's A3 is on the armed mode. Obviously, we used an A3 approach coming into Tampa. But sometimes if it's gusty and it's visual, you might want a different mode. And sure enough, that's what we're going to do into islip. We're not going to fly an HG approach on islip, an A3 approach on islip. What I'll do is just change the mode to an IMC mode. Now, this IMC mode, if you can see, it declutters the screen, gives you a little bit more information. This is a good mode if you have gusty conditions. It's not exactly a VFR day. It's kind of marginal. You'd want to use this. This is a good one if it's gusty and bumpy and stuff like that. If you have good weather, like we have in islip, we're going to do VMC, which declutters everything. As you can see, it's almost the same mode as your IMC mode. It's just a little bit different in terms of the ILS. When you're flying in the IMC mode and you plug in the ILS, it displays the ILS on here. The VMC mode doesn't. It's completely, you're good to go. It's just all visual. Gives you your basic stuff on here. It's nice. I use this a lot when we land in visual conditions. Obviously, it helps with landings and all that good stuff. So definitely recommend the VMC mode for obviously VMC. The IMC mode if it's marginal, or if you have to shoot an ILS for whatever reason, use the IMC mode and it's gusty. Because what you don't want to do is fly an A3 approach in gusty conditions. Because if you do that, it goes approach warning and you're going around, regardless of where you are, if you don't see the runway. So it's important to fly in the IMC mode first. Shoot your approach. Now, when the weather and the visibility drop way down, I mean, technically speaking, I could have flown an IMC mode into Tampa. I wanted some practice. We have to keep current every 30 days at Coastal with our captains do with the HGS. So we have to do at least 3 of those bad boys every within a month, 30 days. Well, actually, that's not right. I think it's 90 days. All right, I'm going to throw the anti-ice off. We're doing great. All right, that's off, and then we're going to turn this off, and then we got another mode. So we talked about all those modes. Those are our basic modes. And then the last but not least is the A3 mode. That's on standby now, but you got IMC, VMC on standby. So you go primary, standby, and then when it intercepts and hooks up to the A3, that standby becomes primary. So this will flip to the so you say no AMC and no IMC flashing, no A3. That's because we're not set up for the A3 approach. So that's what that is. And you have to set it up yourself. We're going to keep it on VMC primary because that's what we're going to use into islip. All right, so you would change enter the length of the runway talking about an A3 approach, you would enter the length of the runway, the glide slope, descent angle, the approach descent angle via the chart. It's at a 3-degree slope, 3.5 degrees in San Diego or whatever. That's what you'd put in here. And then the length of the runway. Remember, when flying an A3 approach, it will flare you a lot longer than you've anticipating. So it's about 1,000 feet. If you're flying a real HGS and you're coming down the glide slope, it's going to send you further down the runway than you want. Cool stuff. Virtually United Pilot, what's going on? Welcome aboard. How are you? How's your 4th going? I don't know if you are celebrating the 4th. You might be from another country. But I do want to talk about something. I've got to do this Vicks in my throat. Man, tell you what, this no fun. So you guys have been to Boston? We're going to talk about Boston. Boston's cool. It's the 5th year in the desert. I gotcha. That's right. Man. Oh, that's good stuff. Woo! That's what I needed. Ah. It's good throat lounger right there. Let's talk about Boston. And if you're not American, it's okay. It's all part of the 4th and the history of it. I'm a sucker for history. I love history. So I went to Boston. Gosh, what was it? Oh, it's probably last year now in September. And you guys, if I had a camera, I was completely geeking out. It really was. It was awesome. My buddies that were with me were like, oh my gosh. It's really cool. The Declaration of Independence was basically signed by 13 colonies. Okay? It was signed on July 4th of 1776. Pennsylvania, or Philly, where it was signed, and they read it in Boston under Independence. I believe it's Independence Hall. What is it called in Boston? It was on a balcony. And they read that. I'm kind of trying to remember. So basically, I'm trying to think where the heck it was signed at. Right. So had they been caught, the signers of the Declaration of Independence, which basically says, we want to be free from Britain rule. Okay? Make the long story short, that's what it was. Had the signers been caught, they would have been absolutely executed. It would have been pretty bad for them. And basically, we declared that we are now free from British rule. Well, that didn't sit well with the Brits, as we know. They did not like that. And a lot of really cool stuff occurred. And you have the start. It's been going, this war, if you will, was been going on for a while. Okay, you had, it all started in Boston, folks. That's why I bring up Boston. It really started in Boston. Mike, correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. Jeff, you missed the HUD. I did the HUD. Had a disco for a bit. Yeah. You missed the HUD chat. I talked about it about if you go rewind back 10 minutes, you'll see it. I just thought. And so what happened, this has been, this whole thing with Britain has been rearing its ugly head for years. Started the Boston Tea Party. I'm going to say 1774. Okay, so when was the Boston Tea Party, guys? Was it 1774? You have to. Anyway. And the Boston Tea Party was really the colonists' first blatant disregard for the king's rule, and they didn't like what was going on with the king. The king was trying to suppress them, obviously implementing all these taxes, and you could see why when you got to look at the British side of things as well. Britain defended us with the French and American War. So Britain brought all their navy here. A lot of their soldiers were here. They funded this war. Well, King George said, hey, now you got to pay your fair share, right? I mean, I think that that's fair, right? Thinking about that, it's like, yeah, you're right. But then, instead of having a representative in Parliament, so the colonists had a voice, they did not. There was no representation. Benjamin Franklin was the liaison between British and the U.S., or not the U.S. now, but the colonists. But the King George kept pushing more taxes and taxation on the colonists because he wanted his money. But there was no representation. So the colonists were unhappy because they didn't get any representation in Parliament. The king was unhappy because he wasn't getting his money. So I think it was 1773, maybe? Ah, gosh. You guys making me work. Again. 1773, I think. It was December 16th, 1773. Woo! Okay. So you have this taxation, and it wasn't about the quote tea, it was a stamp act that they were very upset about. The colonists were really upset when King George said, okay, all paper goods are taxed. Well, that's everything. That's parchment paper, that's, you name it, it was taxed. And basically this boat came in, and the tea is from, it wasn't from England, it was from China. It was a Chinese import, right? And basically it's, you know, they got really upset about it, and this has been going on for a bit. So obviously we know the story. And if you ever go to Boston, there's a museum called the Boston Tea Party Museum. That's not the place where it actually happened. The actual place of the Boston Tea Party is on dry ground. Go figure that. It's different. It changed. Boston has changed as a city. It's grown, and artificially. So, matter of fact, the actual spot of the Boston Tea Party is on a street corner about 3 to 4 blocks up from the museum. The museum is on water, but the actual place, and I took my friends to it, it's about 3 or 4 blocks up. Pretty cool. French Indian War. Yep. I don't know what I said. So then you had colonists are upset. They got stamp tax. They got this. Oh, excuse me, the Stamp Act. They throw the tea over and said, "We don't want this crap." And that was basically just spit in their face. It was just it was boiling, always boiling. 1773. What does King George do? Well, he makes it worse. Quartering Act comes over, which basically King George starts sending his ships full of soldiers to suppress the colonists at Boston. And this happened in Boston, folks. So you've got high tensions. So the Quartering Act,
Traffic.
there's negative 300 feet. Where are you? This is all FSLT targets. I'm looking on my VAT sim. I got nobody. That's an FSLT, and I'm not going to do an RA if it calls it. Look at all those flights. Yeah, something's wrong with that. Oh, do you see an airplane? I see nothing. There's no factor anymore. Okay, so. The heck was I talking about? And by boring you guys, the quartering tax? I mean, the quartering act? Charlotte, what's up? Hello, Jason, and everyone. Good to be here flying tonight. I like the reflections on our founding history. Yes. That's it. Thanks, Sean. Faneuil Hall. That's right. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate it. You gotta, I don't have it in front of me, so. What was I doing? The Quartering Act, wasn't it? Hang on. I just want to get my dates right. Okay. We got to go before that. Before 1773 and 1770, the Boston Massacre. Big deal. Okay? It was where basically the first shot was fired into a crowd of colonists by the British soldiers. Tensions were high. Like I said, tensions have been running high for a long time. 1770, it just got progressively worse. Then 73, they throw the tea over. It gets worse. They were guarding the customs house, the British soldiers, and they shot into a crowd of civilians, killing 3 men, injuring 8. 2 of them died. The hard part about this is you had the 2 men that shot him and killed him. They got off. It was something like first-degree manslaughter or something. In a first-degree charge, in your first offense, you were let go. Something like that. I don't quote the law, but it was very, very close to that. Crazy. And that happened in front of the. Where did that happen? It was a Boston Customs House, which is really cool place, and it's a big. You can see it. It's a big circle, like it is a monument on the ground where it happened. Bostonians were throwing snowballs at them. I mean, it got out of control, obviously, and they were told not to fire. There's an African American sailor named Crispus Atticus. Hopefully I said his name right. He was the first to die. And matter of fact, I believe Paul. You guys gotta help me on this one. It's not Paul Revere. John Adams, maybe? Forgot. Financed his burial and made it a massive deal in the papers. Okay, just massive deal. I mean, his body was big progression on the streets just to get everybody mad. He was very political. I want to say it was John Adams. I don't remember, but he financed his burial, his gravesite, the whole 9 yards. Had the newspapers, and they were all fired up. I mean, you can think the colonists were very upset in Boston. They were not happy about what happened. And his job was getting them all fired up, and he did. And he that was what he did. Politically, he used it as a political springboard, if you will, to advance the cause. Okay. So that was 1770, March 5th, 1770. The Boston Massacre occurs. Again, the whole thing has been boiling for a long time. It's not like it just happened, okay? So it's been a while. Then you have 1773 with the T, the Quartering Act. That comes next, which is all the sailors start to come in. Now think about it. If you were from Boston, okay, you want to be left alone, right? You're a Bostonian. You say, leave me alone. I don't want to deal with you guys. Well, then they start sending droves of troops. And then they knock on your door and say, Quartering Act, you have to provide living quarters for us. And you have to feed us. How would you take it? That's terrible. It's an invasion of privacy. They hated the king anyway. You had a couple loyalists in the ranks, one of which was the governor, who was put in a really, really bad situation at the time. The governor of Boston. I want to say his name was Gates, or was it Cage? I don't remember. Let's see, Boston governor. In 1770. It gets really cool. Who was it? We know that. Alright, I'm trying to look. Does anybody know him? It's Gage or Gates or something. It doesn't matter, but he was a loyalist. Okay? So his job was to stifle, if you will, the Bostonians, the colonists. That was his job. But without doing that, he had to play nice in the sandbox because he couldn't win because there's too many Bostonians and not enough soldiers. So that's why he sends a message to the king. The king then starts delivering more troops, and it gets worse. And what's very interesting is his wife, the Boston governor, his wife, she was basically a spy for the colonists, which was really cool. She was definitely pro-colonist, which is cool, different. Nobody even knew about it. She tipped him off. It's pretty cool. Cool story. So what happened was, it's not Thomas. Was it Thomas Hutchinson? No. I don't know, guys. Yeah. Anyway. So the Sons of Liberty, they organized boycotts, protests, all that stuff. We know that. So you have this boiling point in Boston. It's all accumulating here. And then all the troops came in, and the last thing that was said was, hey, let's and by the way, this is where the Second Amendment really comes from, folks. This is important. This is why, without talking politics, but you got to know history, And a lot of people don't. They just see it and they go, oh, we're going to do this because of this. There's a reason why that these amendments and these rights, the Bill of Rights, are in. Okay, this is it. You want to know why the Second the Second Amendment is here? This is the reason why. So you have the Boston Massacre, you have the Tea Party in '73, you have fast forward a few more years, and tensions are really high between the colonists and Britain. They hate each other. They just don't like it. But within the colonists, you do have loyalists. You have some loyalists, and you have separatists. You have it's a melting pot of what's going on. So that's kind of setting the stage, right? It's setting the stage for what's happening next. So in the infinite governor's wisdom, he said, all right, let's do something that's going to take the wind out of their sails. And that is confiscate their weapons, folks. We're going to go up to their armory. Now, every town had a militia. There wasn't a, quote, army. It was a militia. So each town throughout the colony of Massachusetts and all the colonists had their own militias, where it was just normal farmers. That you would have a musket. Sometimes you have cannons, whatever. Some were decorated soldiers from the French and Indian War. So you had a lot of these people, some with military backgrounds, some without. And so they declared, obviously, we're going to talk about a couple things that happened, but in the summer of 1774, okay, they basically said, all right, this is what we're going to do. This was, again, 1773, 74. Britain got really mad. We know that. They start sending, whatever. They start sending soldiers. So you got the Quartering Act. Everybody's getting upset. Okay, I'm just kind of going with I want to get a date here because I've got to tell you when this happened. Let me just pull this date really quick. And then we're almost there. All right, good. So, the spring, 1775. 73, you have the Tea Party. 2 more years, okay? The king, the governor, the king sends all these soldiers in and says, we're going to confiscate your weapons. They don't tell them that. They said, just, we're going to do it. That'll take the wind out of their sails so they don't have a revolt against us. Britain didn't want a war. They did not want to get in a battle with the people because they were British. It's basically a civil war, folks. The colonists were always British. They didn't consider themselves not British. They just didn't like what the king was doing, right? So that's another thing to always think about. They always thought of themselves as British citizens, which is interesting. So you have this happening. We all know the story, right? They get in a boat. Okay, there's the HMS. I forgot what it was called. Was it Charleston? No, it was in the Charleston River. Anyway, I forgot what the boat was called, but the Queen, one of the warships, was sitting anchored. Not Boston Harbor, but it was sitting and anchored in on the Charleston River. Okay. Paul Revere catches wind. Now, by the way, Paul Revere, people think it was just him. That's not true. There was about a dozen midnight riders, but it was Paul Revere's idea. Okay, Paul Revere set this in motion. He was a carrier and a messenger for years. He was a spy. For years and years and years and years and years, he would run up and he would tell He would tell John Adams what was going on. He would tell the founding fathers who were there what was going on. He was a messenger. He was basically carried and delivered intel. So we had this elaborate interworkings, if you will, of messengers. And they would fan out and carry the message. And he said, again, he got tip and word. Probably, I think it was from his wife. I don't remember. Not from Paul Revere's wife, but I think the governor's wife tipped him and said they're coming after your weapons up in Lexington. Oh, shoot. He gets on the horse from his house, and he rides up to the church. Now, he's going to continue past the church. All right, so Paul Revere didn't go up in the staple of the Old North Church. That was done by two people. They ran upstairs, and they had the lanterns. If you look at the Old North Church, you can see across the Charleston. I think it's the Charleston River. You guys, I don't know. I'd have to look at the map again. John Adams actually defended the British soldiers after. Yeah, okay. But it was somebody who got really mad. I don't know who it was. It might not have been John Adams. Maybe Sam. No, I don't know. Look at who it was that financed. Let me look. I don't know who it was. Yeah, I got it, but somebody financed it. I can't remember who did it. Guys, I'd have to look at it. I don't know who it was. But somebody used it as a political stepping stone. I forgot who it was. Oh, yeah, Samuel Adams. That's who it was. It was Samuel Adams that did it. Not John Adams, Samuel Adams. So Samuel Adams financed his stuff and used it as a stepping stone. As a political token, if you will. Anyway, thanks for the correction. We have the boats going up to one up by land, two up by sea. The lanterns, that's a big deal. That sent a message across the Charleston River that they were coming. Paul Revere gets in a little dinghy and starts rowing right next to the boat. The HMS, whatever, which is battleship, essentially. What's really cool about this story is the way the moon was in the horizon. It was in a horizon at such a way that the full moon was kind of facing the boat's bow, and it casted a shadow on the water. And if there was 2 degrees difference, 2 degrees, they would have seen him. That's how insane this is, right? So here is Paul Revere rowing across the Charleston River to get to the other side, to get on another horse, and to ride up, okay? And as he's doing that in Lexington, this is, the British are coming in, and they get stuck in the mire. The British soldiers were, up to their knees and waist in just marsh, all right? They got out of there, and so they were really slugging and slow because of that. Well, finally, Paul Revere gets up there. The Midnight Riders get up there too, and the Brits had a lot of traps set too on the road. So they had a whole bunch of people setting traps on major highways, we would call them today, to capture anybody trying to go up to Lexington and tell the militia. Well, A lot of Midnight Riders came up that time. There's probably like a half dozen or so that got the word. Paul Revere did deliver the word. I think he was captured once during that ride. They let him go. I don't think they know who he was. They let him go, and pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. He tells Lexington what was going on, and then he continued to ride up to Concord to let them know where the artillery was. And that's the first start of the American Revolution in 1775, I think in April. That's where it starts. A year later, we declare independence in 1776. We say we had enough of this crap. We're done. And we got spanked in Lexington. It wasn't great. Some shots fired. Who knows who started the first shot? Nobody knows. Nobody will say who started it. There's no... We say they started. They say we started. It doesn't matter. I don't know. Which I think is very interesting. But there was a lot of death that day, unfortunately. By the time Revere got to Concord and the other towns, by the way, the other riders got to other towns. They started marching. I'm talking towns across Massachusetts, as far down south, Philly. I mean, we're talking militias just started to rise up. They all started marching. But that day, they were coming in from local areas, okay? It would take them days, weeks to get from Philly. But what happened was, battle happened in Lexington. They kept advancing. The weapons were not in Lexington. They were in Concord. So we got our cannons. Revere got everybody up. He got the militia going, and he kept riding. He stayed a little bit. I think he got in some crossfire. Then he took off to the north to get other militias down. Anyway, by the time the Concord happened, it was about 6, 7 in the morning or so, if I remember correctly. Don't quote me on that, but it was early enough. I think the Brits got to Lexington at like 5 a.m. or something like that. So about 8 o'clock, they were met with a lot of force. We outnumbered them. We outnumbered the army in Concord, and we lit them up. We spanked them in Concord. So, because we had the artillery, we had the people, they started retreating. And there is the start of the American Revolution. So, very interesting. And the courage that these people had is just tremendous, right? That courage to stand up against a major, major power and say enough. Pretty impressive. And then obviously we know the story, right? George Washington is our first general. He gets an army of ragtag people, again, militias, that he's got to train into battle. Battle hardened. And it took a long, long, long time. It was 5 years. What was the war? That war started. It was bad. And the French, big time, big help. The French financed it. They sent a lot of artillery over, because obviously the French didn't like the Brits. So that's how that happened. Pretty cool. There's one hinged. This is where you know that famous painting of George Washington crossing the Delaware. You've all seen that. So pretty cool. That I'll tell you the story, really quick story about that one. You have George Washington up in New York City, and by the way, the Brits controlled Philadelphia. They had Philly, all right, and Philly was our headquarters. Okay, that's where our headquarters were. They had Philly, and they were going to put the final nail in the coffin, per se. Okay. With George Washington being up in New York, his army was the last of the army. So the British general, I forgot who his name was, Navy guy, instead of staying there in Philadelphia, he thought he'd sail north and cut Washington off. And the dead of night, again, Washington crosses the Hudson under fog. It was foggy. Again, there was boats all over the place, British boats, Navy ships. So Washington sails across the Hudson, drops, again, crosses the icy Delaware, comes all the way down to Philly from Delaware, takes Philly again. And while you have the general up there, guess what? We get a shipment of all new stuff from the French. They came in and bailed us out, a ton of cannons and artillery, and that swung the pendulum. Pretty cool. Anyway, I've read a few books on this thing because I love it. It's a lot of fun. If you don't like history, then I'm sorry I bored you. But I know, don't quote me on the dates. It's a little foggy, but yeah. AMC had a really good series called Turn Washington Spies, based on a true story. Cup of the Ring. Washington used them to spy on the British. Loved that series. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, I mean, that's what the Second Amendment is. That's why it was very important to them. The drafters, it was huge. It because of what the Brits were going to do. They were going to confiscate their weapons. And had they done that, we would be talking in British dialect. By the way, they're a great ally now. They're awesome people. It's just, it's really cool. And I know when you say the British are coming, the British are coming. Paul Revere didn't say that. He was British. He probably said the regulars are coming. And just find the whole thing very interesting. So hopefully you found that interesting as well, folks, and kind of give you a little bit of history of how our nation started, at least in the United States. Cool stuff. And if there's ever, if there's, I don't think a lot of Europeans don't get it. I know a lot of Europeans, right? Some of them don't get it. Some of them are like, why is America so, like that? And it's because of that very thing. It's because of where we started, right? What we had to overcome, and what they had to overcome. That is ingrained in our DNA. It just is. Pretty cool. That's awesome. The whole thing is super cool. But honestly, I wish my next thing would be a history teacher. I think it's fun. I like it. Especially American history. It's quite interesting. The normies are coming. Yeah. Yes, sir. The normies are coming. Well, hopefully you guys are seeing fireworks. I'm not seeing anything yet. Of course, I'm in this office. It was snowing. It was raining pretty bad. Looks like the wind's up and the weather's up too. Oh, cool, a hummingbird. My hummingbird's on the feeder. Neat. We got 2 hummingbird feeders at bay. Got a ton of black chin hummingbirds coming through. Freedom's in our blood. Yeah. It sure is. I'm going to have to watch that series, Sean. It was just super cool. Just Boston, just going there and walking where they walked, right? Seeing their graves and seeing, these, and I'm not saying they're perfect men, folks, because they're far from it. Trust me. They weren't perfect. And I don't hold them that way. I don't hold them on like a, perfect, because they weren't, right? They were flawed. They did a lot of stupid things. But they really stood up. Made us what we are today. It's pretty cool. So it's important. It's important to understand your history because it's history, right? 1146. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Because we do have ugly history, folks. 1146 set. All right, looks like we're out of the turbulence area. I thought it was going to be worse than that. Not too bad, just a little bit of rocking. At 370. I might want to climb up a little bit. Oh, there are the fireworks. My dog is going to be like running under the covers. Poor thing. It gets all upset. 35, 36, 37. We can go up to 370. Maximum's 38. So let's see what 370 can yield us if it helps. How's that? Did you guys enjoy that rant? Throw the step climb in there and see what we got. All right, a 1.3% savings. Well, I think that's good. I just want to make sure the turbulence is better, not worse, higher. I go over here. Yeah, we're in it. We're in it. 3.5, 3.7. It's supposed to be pretty bumpy this entire route now at all altitudes. So I got the seatbelt sign on. 320, 310. There's nothing here. It's light, but as we climb higher, it gets worse. Great book. If you like David McCullough, he wrote a book called 1776. That's awesome. I got to read that book again. It's so good. Really, really, really good. Look at this, you guys. We are nice. This is just upper cat stuff we're going to have to deal with. But I do think I want to start that climb. Peggy Shippen? Not Shippen. Okay. Raining here. Going to continue to rain the whole night. Yeah, I saw the weather coming out of Florida. It's pretty crappy out. Well, that's done. All right, so should we tempt fate? I'm kind of thinking, do we want to climb or not? 1% savings is not really a lot. Yeah, let's just leave it. Top of descent, about 300 and... Let me see. Quorum. Cruise. Let's clear that out. I'm going to delete that. Yeah. 217 miles top of descent. I really don't think it's worth it. Just because we're going to have to... That will turn off. We're out of the crap. We'll shut this off. Nope. That and that. Alright. And who knew a bit over a century later, 2 men on a beach in North Carolina revolutionized the way we travel. That's exactly right. Isn't that cool? I mean... You're right. It's amazing. Another marvel. Powered flight. Really cool. Gosh, you guys know something. You remember the Alexandria fires? Something to think about. We lost probably, I think they said 100 years worth of technology in the Alexandria fire. So, or something like that. It was some kind of a, if that didn't burn down, we would have way more advanced technology than we do today. Which is interesting. That thing burned down, and I can't remember, but there was a lot of a lot of things that were in there that we lost. Yeah, pretty cool. This powered flight thing. I mean, think about what we see. You know, we're doing. Look at this. We're doing. What's our ground speed? 485 knots. About 500 miles an hour. You know, in a aluminum tube at an altitude that no human could survive. That is, even that is a feat, right? It's just amazing. It's super cool. I wish people would travel the way they did in the 20s. How cool would that be? Everybody wearing a suit, a fedora hat. Man, the times have changed. People just take it for granted. I mean, look at this. I mean, I remember I just flew last week, and I was glued, you know, just glued to the windows, like all of you. Now, I will say this. If the flight is over 4 hours, I take an aisle seat. And 2 reasons. One, I don't want to bother anybody. Because if you got to go to the bathroom, I just want to get up and go. I don't want to bother people. And I'd rather the window, but again, over 4 hours, I'm going to go to the bathroom. Two times probably. At least once. Pretty cool. Can you imagine having the Wright brothers sitting in an Airbus 220? They would be shocked. Can you imagine that? They would say, "Are you kidding me? What is all this?" I mean, just looking at a jet engine. They'd say, "Wait a minute. What?" You're just looking at a power plant. They'd be like, "This is crazy. How do you guys do this?" It's pretty cool. Climb at ORF. Is that where you're out of, bud? I'm approaching. Let's see. We are approaching just north of ORF right now. We are approaching Norfolk, Virginia. 116.9. I'll throw that in there. What else you guys want to talk about? We covered the HUD. We covered our founding. We covered... I have utmost respect, man. I just do. Really, really cool. We got to go to Norfolk, Virginia soon. I haven't been there in a while. We got a fun route out of there. All right, seatbelts off. We're good. It's been pretty good. I mean, we're in an area of turbulence right now that should be rocking. Now it's coming, actually. Is this Jet 121 to CCC? Huh. Looks like there's some kind of a group flight coming out of Boston. Probably going to Philly. Going to DC. Boston to DCA. Looks like American. Doing a little group flight up there. That's cool. I was going to head up to Boston. I got to tell you, folks. JetBlue is pulling routes out of Boston. Should we fly to Boston? Should Coastal try it? Probably not, right? I mean, we go to Providence, but they're not making money from Boston to Miami. It's not really good 800 route. It's so competitive. It really is. And Delta's really kicking them in the Boston market. Anyway, we're almost there, folks. 166 miles, top of descent. Let's go ahead and get our numbers crunched for islip. Talk about route planning. Do Manchester. Yeah. Manchester seems like a cool New Hampshire. Is there scenery for it? It's one of the criteria. It's got to have good scenery.
Traffic.
He's 800 feet. Where are you, dude? That is an FSLT target. There he is. Look at that. Whoa. Going right over the top of us. I see ya. That's cool. What is that bad boy? Looks like JetBlue. Maybe, I don't know. Anybody know where that is? You guys are more knowledgeable than I am. I can't tell what that was. Gone. Look at the northeast. Beautiful. Speaking of Delaware, it's right there. Right off the wing, guys. Chesapeake. Delaware is right there. This is the Chesapeake Bay. A lot of megalodon teeth in here. Coming up. Oh, what a beautiful day out here. Better than was last week. Nothing but overcast, stratus. Couldn't see a thing. All right, enough of sightseeing. Let's do this. Okay, weather. Is ice slip in here? Tell me. No. Dang it. All right, we're going to use SimBrief. Okay. So we're going to use our SimBrief performance for the landing. Populate. We're looking at an arrival here. A weight. Um, 142.4. Yeah. All right, we're gonna go runway 24, flap 40, reversers yes, brake we'll just keep it. I'm gonna say auto brake 3. We're gonna add 5 knots to it. Winds are calm. Could calculate. Maximum runway weight exceeded. Really? Okay. Maximum braking. It gives us 4,800 feet. We're not going to do that. We're just going to set it to 3, and then we'll go manual if we need to. We have sufficient runway. And give me... we're going to be definitely heading the brakes. If we needed it, we won't need that, but if we did... Full braking would be 4,800. We're not going to do that. We're just going to go auto brake 3. And then, like I said, we'll take over manually if we have to. All right? Okay. Let's talk about ice slip. Ice slip. All right. Lovely. Okay, so here's the airport. We're going to do the 2-4 approach. Go to Calverton. We're going to shoot off of Calverton. 2,000 feet, hit Coram, and then we're over and in. Okay, pretty simple. It's a visual approach. Absolutely gorgeous day out there in ice slip. The airport. Now let's talk about landing and all that good stuff. Once we land, we're going to try to get off on, probably on Alpha. Maybe we can get off on Whiskey. I'll let the airplane roll out. I might take the whole runway. Just give the passengers a nice ride. It's the last flight of the day for this airplane, so we're putting her to bed. Although I don't have to worry about turn and all that. There was a runway here, you guys. You see this X? That was so cool. I think it was like 5,000 feet. It was super cool. I did see a Southwest jet take it once. I was standing right there. And this thing was like, boom, right across it. Pretty cool. All right. So, good old Islip, New York, Long Island. We'll go ahead and park over here in the terminal. Next to our CRJ, we have a return overnight. This is the airplane, is an RON. Well, this is one RON. We have the CRJ, that's an RON. And I can't remember if there's a third. We have 2 RONs here. This is one of them. An RON means return overnight. So it's just going to stay. Do we have... Nope, they dropped offline. That's a bummer. Thought New York Center was on, but they're not. Good night, Pops. How are you? Happy Independence Day. Yes. Thanks for watching. Which era of commercial aviation do you think the pioneers, quote, pioneers belong to? I heard from an old UAL captain that it was normal to hand fly Cat 3s. Yeah. Until Europeans started complaining about it. Yep. We did one. We did a Cat 3 approach. With the HUD, we hand flew it all the way down. That's actually procedure. You're supposed to shut it off and hand fly down. Which we still do. Interesting. Alright guys, let's get the weather here in Iceland. 57 minutes. What time is it right now? 9, 10, 11. Well, the tower closed. So, that's the end of that. Well, obviously, we wouldn't be closed here. It's 23:24. Zulu. Anyway. Runway 240, winds 240 at 8. Visibility is P6, which means greater than 6. Few clouds at 6,000 feet. Let's check on those passengers, see how they're doing. How are we doing here? Anybody need a toilet? Nope, looks good. What is this? Might as well try to get some sleep. Wi-Fi speeds are decent. Yeah, the seatbelt signs are off, dude. What is he talking about? This flight is relaxing. Yeah. This is fun how they have, like, individuals. Aircraft pitching up excessively. Seatbelt is on. And we're up. Oh, it's funny. Oh, look at this. Wow, those engine sounds are amazing. What's that loud roaring noise? That's fun. Why are we off the taxiway? That's probably what they're screaming about. Taxi speed's too fast. Oh, I love it. Does anybody actually listen to these safety notices anymore? That's hilarious. Would you seriously consider an Airbus A350 long haul? Yeah. If we're not even close to that, but, you know, yeah. I would consider that. I think the A350 is a good airplane for the overhaul. It's so expensive. We couldn't afford it. That doesn't mean we couldn't fly it, right? We could. if you guys want to see something like that, we can. I'm going to send that out to the our membership. The thing I struggle with a lot is I have so much to do at Coastal, really, really do. I have a lot to do, and like I said, 3%, a 10% growth within the year is doable for me. That's 3 aircraft a year, and then next year you grow another 10%. But we need pilots, man. I mean, I think once I get the trips hammered out, this is one of our aircraft in the fleet. I was in storage forever. And I redid the schedule. I think once I get the... I gotta drink some water here. Once I get the... Standby. I gotta get some stuff written down. But once I get the trips hammered out and the airplanes out the door, and guys, we just ordered 8 600s. Now they're not going to be delivered until August, and I'm not going to put them on the line and probably till next year. And if that, I put maybe 1 or 2 of them out next year. So the growth is slow, and it should be. It's controlled, and that's what we want. We want controlled growth. 75 miles top of descent, you guys. We're going to go auto brake 3. Landing distance, it says actual landing distance, forced landing distance, factored landing distance, 4,800 feet. That's at full braking. We have 7,000 feet. Now here's the deal. Flaps 40 for sure. We're going to go with a ref speed. Where's a ref? I'm going to wake up tomorrow. My throat is absolutely going to be on freaking fire. Everybody should have, before you get on an airplane, everybody should be doing temperatures. Beep, get out. Beep, get out. That's what I'd like to do. Don't get on here. Stupid. Ugh, gosh. Up. I hear fireworks. Kablamo. Man, I want to go outside maybe. Maybe I can land and go outside. Oh, yeah, there they go. They're lighting them up. Now, guys, I used to, about 2 years ago, I had enough fireworks to blow up a neighborhood. I say that facetiously, but I had enough. I had 2 pallets worth of fireworks. Every year we did it. All right, and I'd have neighbors from all over the place just come to our house, and we're living in a cul-de-sac, so I would just light them up, 150-foot aerials, boom, 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 just going. And then 2 years ago, I stopped because one of my candles kicked over, and normally I brace them, but this one was, I don't know what happened. I don't know why I didn't brace it. I didn't brace it. And it fell over. I think it fell over, and it started lighting them up. Neighbors are running. I'm like, run, dude! And it actually hit my neighbor and burned her. And I was like, done, right? So I put the kibosh on it. It's a shame, but I had to. It's just super dangerous. And I'm not kidding you. We had 2 pallets. I don't think you understand. FedEx, it was actually DHL. No, it was FedEx. Anyway, it was either DHL or FedEx. I don't remember. They would back up a semi-truck in my street and put this pallet jack on the ground, and I'd have 2 pallets stacked that high in wrapping of just fireworks, man, and a lot of aerials and stuff. So how cool is that? Just nuts. That I was that guy. Now I was known as a safety guy, but oh, Jason's good. He'll be safe. Sure. Normally I was, until I didn't do it, and that was the end of it. So, yeah, that's okay. Now I could just go. I mean, I do miss it though, but I was always worried because it's a lot of people. You know, I mean, I'm telling you, we probably had 50, 60 people in and around the cul-de-sac. And I was like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be liable or, you know, hurt somebody worse than that. You know, thanks. Even that is too much. So that's why. That's why I stopped. Which I think was the smart thing to do, honestly. You know. Anyway, que sera, right? Guys, what did I say the ref was? Do we know? 142. Anyway, like I was saying before, the reason why is because I have so much to do, and every time the other MD-11s, oh my gosh, Samantha Fox, more MD-80 please. Yeah. There's an MD-80 that's coming out for the public. My members can see it. I flew a US Air MD-80, you know, back in I think it was from a 1989 schedule or something like that. So that will be there. That's coming. But yeah, I'm peppering some MD-80s and stuff in there. And you just wait. The MD-80's coming. Again, it's going to be here before you know it. We're talking September. Do you guys realize that? September, we start hockey again? Oh my gosh. Didn't we just end it? In September. Oh boy. I don't know. We're gonna see. It's gonna be difficult this year because I got a lot of work to do. So we'll see if I have time. I mean, I could always record them. I know you don't like recordings, but I might have to just to get work done. Like right after I land here, I'm gonna work. I got stuff to do. So, you know, I'll break all this down and work time. My throat's killing me. I gotta get a drink of water. Yeah. When the 7.5 comes out, don't worry about it. That's coming. And we'll get it out. It'll be awesome. And these two airplanes are real targets. They are no factor. They're all coming from Boston down to DCA. Which is good because I'm about to descend here any minute. Oh my gosh. Other than Hawaii, what will the 7.5 routes look like? Good question. Well, I'll give you a couple. The 7.5 is going to be Salt Lake, Hawaii. I'm eyeing that up. We're going to do Miami to Salt Lake City direct, which we could do in an 800, but I think the 7.5 is more fit for that. Bermuda's on my radar, probably from Islip. Then Miami, we'll see. That could be an 800 route too. I'm eyeing that as well. It's just Bermuda's pretty expensive to operate out of. That's what I've got in mind thus far. We will freighter up to Alaska. Oh my gosh, my throat sucks. This COVID crap sucks, man. Oh well. Throat lozenges. I've been sucking on these all day. Where are my other ones? I had a couple of them. There it is. Let's throw this one in. I think the best is the VIX, the real hard stuff. All right, top of descent's coming up. We're going to get into some turbulence. Oh, shoot. I didn't remind him. All right. Told them where to start our descent here. Whew. Some South American routes, I'm thinking. Transcon flights would be good. Definitely connecting our two hubs, Miami to Salt Lake City. Again, we could do that now. In the 800, I think the 7.5 is a bit better for that. Ought to be a 7.5 run to Salt Lake and then Salt Lake to Hawaii or something like that. I don't know. All right, we're on the descent. Seatbelts on. Guys want a weather update? I'll give you a weather update. Folks, from the flight deck, we start our descent into the New York area. I show islip about 128 miles away. Should have you on the ground here in about 20 minutes or so. Weather and islip right now, really a pleasant day. It's 73 degrees. Just a few clouds there, about 12,000 feet. Winds are light. Thanks again for watching the FSBN channel. Let's sit back, relax, enjoy the rest of the ride into islip. All right. William, what's going on, man? Good morning. Great to see you. I'm late, so watching from the beginning of the stream. Take care of yourself. Get well, buddy. Talk to you soon. Always great to see you. Yeah, William, appreciate it, man. Thanks for the support, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Obviously happy Independence Day. He's in Thailand. I believe he's a full day ahead of us. Now, tomorrow, Saturday, folks, I'm going to stream. There's nothing else. I'm stuck in this office. I can't do anything. So I might as well have fun. You know, after I'm done working, I'll work a little bit. I got some writing to do. And I think if did Mike have the question of the landing and the energy management? I think it was Mike. Okay. Yeah. Boston Mike, what I'll do is I'm going to show you practicality, what that looks like. Oh, man. So, tomorrow, vote. What do we want to do? If I stream, do we do a coastal flight? Do we do... To be honest, I'm done with coastal flights after this one in terms of I have to get it done. Do we do a coastal flight? An MD-80? Or US Air, maybe? A Delta flight. Already knocked out the Southwest, so we're done with that. But we could do a 717. That would be cool, even though it's a piece of junk, but we could do it. That's fun. It's a fun little airplane. They just need to fix it. It's just all jacked up. Gonna fly a virtual Mad Dog right over your location. Let me look, buddy. Let me see what you got. One of the only crazy guys to fly an MD-80. I love it. A lot of people don't like flying the airplane because they don't like. Are you on VATSIM? Where are you at? Oh, I think I see you, buddy. Nah, it's a CRJ. That ain't you. Where are you at? That's a big airplane. LAX to LSZ to 777. That thing's huge. I don't see ya. I see a CRJ coming into Vegas. 900. I don't see, man. You might not be on the network. That's an RJ 700. I don't see ya. Darn it. Oh, unless you're back here. Looks like an MD-80 profile. I see ya. He's in an American MD-88. Good for you, dude. Out of Dallas, going over to Portland. Cool. You guys want to see an MD-80 tomorrow or what? Are we doing an old historic flight? Smith Fox. MD-80 is amazing to fly. It's awesome. There's only one real entrance to that Mad Dog. I see you, buddy. I got you. So what do you want to do tomorrow after I'm done with working? What do we want to do? Do we want to go to anybody? Anybody? We could fly Delta. I think it'd be cool to fly a Delta flight sometime tomorrow. Maybe we get in that 717. Or, I got to tell you this. The Mad Dog, even though I love it, it's a very niche aircraft. As we all know that. Not a lot of people like it. And not a lot of people fly it. So, it's niche that way. Not very popular. And it's interesting because, dude, where are they lighting them off? Right in front of me? Yeah, they are. Cool. That's the other street. My poor dog's probably freaking out. Pretty. Sorry, guys. I'm looking at the fireworks out my window. I'm just going to keep my window open here. Super fun. Huh. All right. Hold on 1 second. Whew. All right, I'm back. Sorry. I had to just take something. We should do a Delta flight. All right. Let's do it. When's the last time you've flown the Boeing 737-900? Oh, man. Long time ago. Probably. So let's do a Delta flight. Do we want to do a Mad Dog? Okay, I'm going to give you the options. We'll say Delta Airlines tomorrow. Is it going to be a Mad Dog? Is it going to be a 717 or a 900? We could keep it narrow body. Or we could do an Airbus. Everybody's like, no, Airbus? What? I could attempt an Airbus, I should say. I flew the 737-900 probably when we went on, when I took it on the last year, 2 years ago. Did you guys see that Phoenix is coming? Flight Beam and something sim. They're doing forgot what, Jetstream Sims or something. They're doing Phoenix. It's gonna be awesome. I guess I'll figure it out, and it depends how I feel. You know, if I'm really up to it, I'll do it. If I'm not, I can't. But all right, there we go. My vote is for the 737-900. All right. Jeffrey, what say you? I know what he's going to say. Mad Dog. Samantha Fox, I think they're going to say Mad Dog. So that's 2 for the Mad Dog. All right, Mike. Boston Mike. You see that 15 nautical mile ring that we're talking about over there? That is what I'm talking about. Let me get this all going up here. 1083. Oh, mama. How are we doing on time? Good. I got to make sure I'm in before 9 o'clock, because then we turn into a pumpkin. Again, crew duty times. We're at part 117, so we got to make sure we get there in good time here. 987, 748. That's pretty good. We're plenty of time. Even built-in delays if we need to. It's only 2 legs. Oh, you know what? I think we could do it. Well, I won't do the coastal flight, but... Oh, shoot. Aren't you overdue for Hawaii? No. No, I'm not. 4,000 feet. That ain't going to work. That ain't good. So now, I'll tell you what's going on. We're 4,000 feet high. So we're a little on the high side. I'm going to call the flight attendants and tell them to prepare the cabin for landing. Ready? Flight attendants, please prepare the cabin for landing. Thank you. Okay. We got to get down, down, down. Okay, you can see we're going to Coram. Do I hear the flight attendant? I do. Gosh, I wish this weather was like this last week, you guys. You know, all I wanted to do was see Long Island. Flying over to Providence. I'm like, what the heck? All right. Perfect. What was the tower frequency? 119.3. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to fly to Hawaii until December. It's always, we do that annually. Oh my gosh. You guys trying to kill me or something? Okay. So, I feel like you try to do a 4th of July Wi-Fi. You've done it for a couple of summers now. Feel like a 4th of July Hawaii flight? Yeah. I don't do a summer Hawaii flight. I do it in December. Generally. It's in December I do that. Plus, we can't fly the MD-80 over there anyway, sir. All right, there's 10,000 feet. We'll go ahead and give him a call, and I'll do the checklist here. All right, checklist time. Descent to altimeters and bugs. There, set and cross check. I got 3012. South side of Long Island right there is absolutely beautiful. Look at how gorgeous this is. JFK is over there somewhere. Man, it's gorgeous. Yep. Okay, auto brakes on 3. Start switches. Continuous recall. Complete checklist is complete. Descent checklist is complete. Okay, we'll go ahead and drop this. Alright. So Boston Mike, if he's watching. Oh. Max, you're headed down to Cancun tomorrow to start your coastal trip. Sweet. Alright guys, here we go. So, like I was saying, we've got this 15 nautical mile range here. I'll just make sure that there's nobody there. Take the weather off. We don't need that on now. Bum. Beep, 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 beep. They're going from Boston to JFK. Yeah, give them a call. Alright, now we're 2,000 feet. Ice slip traffic. Riptide 180. Going to be setting up for the visual 2-4 ice slip. On a downwind right now. Yeah, it's the wrong season. Yeah, I do it every year on the Christmas break. Look at how gorgeous this is. Look at how pretty. It's unbelievable. That is gorgeous. Love it. So, I'm within that 15 nautical mile ring, but now's not the time to do it, okay? It just wouldn't be good to do right now. What's the altitude? Is 100 feet. So, what we're going to do is bring it down over here. And I've got an aircraft, two targets. They are going to JFK. One's at way above me. No, we're good. They're both high. So this is where I'm saying, this is where you got to be kind of on it a little bit. You don't want to do anything yet. You know, right when we start that turn, see where they're going to be within that inside ring here. We're within that 5 nautical mile ring. He's plus 900. Where are you? He's 4,800 feet. Okay, no factor. I would love to see fireworks. Pop, pop, pop. That would be great. We're headed over Smiths Point Park, which is right about there. Smiths Point Beach. I used to swim out here. I was telling my pops earlier, we used to like surf and body surf over here. Crazy. I would never do it today. just never do that today. Knowing what I know now, I'd be like, no. Pass. Anyway. All right, so we're going to hit the 4,000 feet. We're going to go to 2. What a gorgeous sunset. It is absolutely beautiful out there. I think I'm missing the views here, right? This is too nice not to have. Pretty foggy out here, and that's generally correct. You have the sea. The sea is a little warmer. That's the outer marker. Okay, I'm going to start slowing the aircraft down now. So I'm going to pull it down to about, remember I said about 210, 220, right about there. So let the airplane slow down. I don't need my speed brakes in anymore, so I'm going to go ahead and arm them. Speed brakes are armed. Okay, and I'm going to change the mode. Remember I said I was going to go VMC? Well, I'm going to do IMC. Right. Gosh. Alright. See the difference? That's going to give me an ILS guidance, which I want. Alright, 1,000 to go. That was a big one. Kablamo, they're starting to go off here. Alright, you guys ready? Now we'll go flaps. 5. I'm going to slow to 180. And then hold. Why do I hear music? I shouldn't hear anything. Weird. Alright, so now, remember I was saying, okay, you start, you know, getting it slowed. That's what I'm talking about. And that inside of that 15 nautical mile ring, we're there. And we're going to go shoving a quorum here next. There's 180. The flaps speed will come up, and we'll roll the airplane over to Calverton, and we'll go direct quorum. Am I hearing music? Do you guys hear anything? What am I hearing? I shouldn't hear anything. I don't know why there's music going. It's so weird. Alright, here we go. We're on the turn. Turn the weather off. I don't need that. I'm going to go ahead and terrain mode on. Ice slip traffic. Riptide 180. Turning decorum for 2-4. This is the smoke. This is all the smoke from the fireworks. That's what this is. Are they playing music? Something's driving me crazy. They shouldn't be playing anything. Weird. Alright, again, don't touch the flaps. We're good. We're going to keep it 180 for quite a bit. I don't know why they're playing music. These people are crazy. I don't know what they're doing. Okay, I don't need that. I need the flight attendants. Stop playing the stupid music. Crew are ready to be seated. Well, sit down. Take your seats for landing, please. Thank you. I don't know what's going on. All right, you guys. Oh, man, what a day. What a day. What a day. Look at this soup. Yeah, we're going to be ending up shooting an approach here. All right, we got single channel hooked up. All right, go ahead, gear down. The quorum, we want to drop down to 1,400 feet. And then flaps 15. And we're going to slow to 15 speed. Now, I did that a little on the early side. It's because within that 5 nautical miles, you should have done that. This is an 800, so you want to kind of do this a little on the earlier side, maybe 7 miles. You can see this is like super fun. Again, once I get a visual, I'm going to do a duck under here, guys. This is a shorter runway. I don't want to mess with it, so. And I'll hold this till we hit that 3 mile mark, and then I'll drop down more flaps to 40, and then we'll set it. Alright, good stuff. Got the runway inside already. I mean, barely, but I got it. You'll be seeing fireworks. Kaplam, pam, pam. Alright, we're 5 miles. Alright, here's your 3 miles. We're between that 3 mile ring. I'm going to go ahead and drop it. You ready? Flaps full. Flaps full. We're going to go ahead and slow to ref. Alright, runway's in sight. You can see the difference between IMC here. Gives you a little more information than vertical, your visual.
1,000.
Check. Alright, I'm going to take it off my plane. Whoa. It kicked it off and yet did something stupid. I lost a lot of airspeed on that. Kicking ref up. Correcting. Man, this is high and fast. And okay, landing checklist. We've got flaps 40, gear down 3 green, and we're armed. I've got a nose itch.
2, 4.
Okay. I'm going to bring up those throttles a little bit. There we are, right there. I'm just going to hold this. Come on, get on ref.
400.
Just trying to. The airplane is fighting me a little bit.
300.
There we go.
$200.
Good right there.
$100. 50. 30. 10.
Come on, you little beast. Get on there. Nice hit. That was a tough one. Okay, reversers are out. Gosh, I can't see. 100 knots, I got the aircraft. Brakes are mine. 60 off. Reversers. Let it roll.
2,000 feet remaining.
Welcome to iSlip.
1,000 remaining.
Roll it all the way out.
Feet remaining.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your destination with Coastal Airways. On behalf of the entire crew,
We're done.
extend our
AP
sincere
coming
thanks for
on.
choosing to fly with us today. As we have now landed, we kindly ask that you remain seated with your seatbelts
Those are
securely
off.
fastened until the aircraft comes to a complete stop and the captain turns off the seatbelt
1,
sign.
2,
We advise you to
3.
exercise caution while opening the overhead compartments, as items may have shifted during the flight. Before leaving the aircraft, please take a moment to check your seat area and the overhead
Well, we made
compartments
it.
for any personal items you may have brought on board. If you notice any belongings that do not belong to you, please bring them to the attention of one of our flight attendants. For those passengers with connecting flights, please
There's no
consult the
connections
display
here right
screen
now.
or feel free to
We're
approach
done for
our
the end of
reception
the day.
desk for aid, information, and flight details.
All right, folks, welcome to iSlip,
Coastal
Long
Airways
Island
ground services
MacArthur
will assist
Airport.
you further, including baggage handling and wheelchair services.
Beautiful sunset.
Any assistance, our dedicated ground staff will be readily available to
Absolutely
assist you
gorgeous
once our
approach too.
mission. Once again, we would like to thank you for choosing Coastal Airways as your preferred airline. Your safety and comfort are our top priorities, and we look forward to welcoming you on board again in the future. Before you leave the aircraft, please ensure you have all your personal belongings with you. If you need any last-minute assistance or have any questions, feel free to approach any of our flight attendants. Thank you for flying with Coastal Airways. We hope you had a pleasant experience, and we wish you a wonderful stay at your destination or a safe
All
flight.
right.
Have a fantastic day.
Yes. That thing's got to get off my gate. Okay, I'm going to shut down number 2. Oh, I'll park next to him. I think it's Bravo 19 if I'm not mistaken. The one thing I don't like about this is the gate doesn't pull up. Alright, taxi's off. Our CRJ would be right there. Alright, hang on, Bravo 19. Let's see if it works. Gate 19, please. No. I gotta change the GSX stuff. Probably right there. Alright, here we are. Brakes coming on. We're on the bus. Shut it off. Seatbelt's coming off. Alright, we're done. Woohoo! Well, that's coming off.
Ground to contact.
Let's go ahead and get deboarding in there. Let's see if the gate works. I don't know if it's gonna. Somehow it doesn't connect to the airplane all the way. I don't like that. See, it's just right there. It's like, oh yeah. And then it'll stop like 5 feet away. See? This is so dumb. What are you doing? Oh, come on. Alright. We're done, folks. Awesome. Let me get your comments. Let me just go ahead and shut her down. 1, 2, 3. Yes, request ground power. Pack's coming off. Go ahead for ground. I gotta write my times in.
Hi, Captain. Technical check, please.
APU off. Loud and clear, buddy.
Loud and clear.
Let's get an air conditioning car hooked up to the airplane. Doesn't really matter
Stand by. We start getting you on board in the
now. Yes.
Okay.
Time in 2011. That's local. That's 8:11. It's perfect. Gosh, can't ask for anything better than that. We can't hit 9, and that's with a delay. I like those times. 0011. How much fuel do we have? 54. 5460. All right, we're going to shut her down here. And I'm going to do it. Okay, clear to deboard, please. Get off my plane.
Let's get ready for door arrival and cross-check. All call, please. On behalf of Coastal Airways and your crew today, thanks for flying with us. We know you had plenty of options, and we're thrilled you picked us to get you here, hopefully with all your luggage and a few good stories to tell. Please stay safe.
All right, what do we got here? Let's take a look at your comments.
Day, and the seatbelt sign goes
Remember when we flew to Long Beach and had those vapors coming off the wing? Yeah, it was cool. It was really cool. Thank you, Max. Said, excellent job. Appreciate it. Mr. Anderson, fantastic landing. Thank you. I appreciate that. Awesome. Look at the sunset. Yes, we do. All right, we're going to shut this plane down. I'm going to click air conditioning unit. And let's go to our ACARS. And I'm going to go ahead and click end the flight. Burn fuel was what? We burned 12,291 pounds. Awesome. Pretty cool. Click file it. I should hear doo-doo. I took it. I got paid. I like getting paid. Good. I'm going to disconnect from that. All right, we're going to actually do a shutdown of the aircraft, and we're actually going to do this using the checklist. This is not something you would just do. I don't know if it's broken. It might be broken. It might be frozen. Let's see. Exit that. Yes. Okay. Yeah, they were playing some dumb music. They were playing my music. I don't know why. All right, that's released. Yeah, it's completely frozen. Well, that's perfect. At least it froze in the right spot. Oh, man. Who dis? Yeah. Cool stuff, you guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. I really did. It was a fun, very hectic getting over to Miami. I think that was a lot of fun. I'm hoping it comes back so I could... It's completely frozen. I got nothing left. I'm trying to disconnect stuff. Nope. Locked up. I'm going to do this right here. Let's disconnect that. That's a bummer. Well, it's all good. At least we made it, and we got it booked. All right, folks. Tomorrow it'll be a Delta flight. I don't know where. I don't know what. We'll figure it out. Maybe it's the Mad Dog. Maybe it's a 7-1. Who knows? But I got nothing working. Just nothing. Let's see if this works. Okay, that works. Yeah, the sim is locked up. So let's see if I can... I can't. Like, it's completely bricked. I'm just shutting stuff down now. VRAS closed. Trying to see if I can get it back. See, it says waiting. Yeah, let's close that. I might have to just do a shutdown on it. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you had fun. If you haven't checked out the first flight into from Miami to Tampa, go ahead and do so. It was a wild ride. Put it in hold, had a hold, the whole 9 yards. Well, welcome to Florida in the summer. All right, you guys, if I'm feeling up to it, we'll stream tomorrow. I hope I'm feeling up to it. Guys, I appreciate everybody. Thank you for a wonderful time, getting through the sickness with me. Have a great Independence Day, whatever is left for you. And we'll see you tomorrow sometime. I don't know when. Make sure you throw that notification bell on so you can see when I'm riding. All right. Until next time, keep the blue side up and the brown side down. We'll hopefully see you tomorrow.
before the plane hits on time. Sun is shining, it's bright. Breezy skies, cool and calm. Take a trip, it's not long. Oh, the vibe's so mellow. Airwaves sing like cello. Sandy beaches we climb. Coastal Airways, oh my. Take me high, smooth as sea. Coastal breeze, fly with me. Take me high, the island's near. Feel the love in the air. Arms are swaying.